You know this shit. I mean, we started doing this shit on my roof. Remember on that roof deck when I was in Beacon Hill.
Yeah.
The first episode we did, we were sitting outside smoking weed.
And now we're...
And then we sat inside and smoked weed and did the same shit.
Now we're inside doing it.
Now we are back, guys. Welcome to the Ready, Set, Blow podcast, episode 390. With the man himself is back, Chase Abel, in Nashville, Hideout Studios in Music Row. Fucking sick. We were saying it's like a retro 70s vibe in here. I like it, man.
I like it.
They got the reel to reel in the corner. They got vinyl all over the place.
This is my jam.
Yeah, I think there's somebody with an afro doing cocaine out back.
If you don't go into a place where you're a little worried,
yeah, I
don't want to go in there. Where you ever go into a place and say, man, I don't know, that doesn't look I should go in there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So the funny part about the studio too is that it's in the basement of an actual residence, but it's two separate entrances. So like you kind of walk around somebody's property, like are we trespassing? And then you walk down the stairs, like all right, I'm not gonna fucking Leatherface gonna be down there, fuck me up.
Yeah, that's what happened.
But then you come in the studio, it's gorgeous. It's a cool little spot.
I liked it. I came down earlier. I knocked on the door, and then no one answered.
No, you thought you were in the wrong place.
I thought I was in the wire.
Oh, you thought it was like a guy's gonna come out with a shotgun. Like, what's your business?
What's the passcode?
Yeah, exactly. That little sliding thing they always have in the metal door. How do you get one of those fucking joints? Instead of having a peephole, I'd rather have one of those sliders,
Yeah. I think peepholes are a thing, right? I don't think people look at peepholes anymore. Because now well,
don't nobody come to your house anymore. I'd be terrified if someone showed up unannounced. That's the thing. My brother talked about this. He had one of the funniest clips on a podcast. I got to repost it. He's like, don't ever show up if I'm not planning on seeing you, I don't want to see you. Like, don't show up to my house unannounced. Like, where are you? I'm not home, son.
That's that.
My brother's like, I'm watching reruns of Benny Hill. Get the fuck off my stoop.
That's funny. Benny Hill. That's funny. Benny Hill.
But for real, think about it. When's the last time somebody showed up to your crib unannounced, man? I'd be fucking furious if they did that.
I grew up in a household like that.
Oh, yeah, but we grew up like that, but not this day and age. In 2024, if someone shows up unannounced, like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah. It happens all the time. Like, my landlord wants rent.
Oh, well, that's the only motherfucking knock.
Yeah,
then you know not to answer. If someone's knocking on your door and they ain't expecting them, you're not answering.
No. I'm like, no, but I'm like, why are you coming down? Don't ask me for rent.
I know I signed a lease, but I'm not gonna pay you. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, but you coming downstairs asking for it, it's not gonna come faster.
That's. Yeah, it's not like you have the rent laying around in cash in the basement.
If you coming down expecting it, that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can send me a text, hey, I'm coming down. And
yeah.
I'll be like,
well, that's the thing too. That's what I was going to say, man. Like, I don't like people showing up unannounced. I'm to the point where I don't even like you calling me without texting me first. Don't call me unless, like, if you want to talk to me on the phone,
you're like that.
Text, say, hey, can we talk later? Can I call you? Yep. Don't just because I get nervous. So if you call me, and I'm expecting a phone call. I think it's an emergency. I think someone's hurt or in trouble. I don't like that shit. Makes me uncomfortable. What the fuck is it an emergency? No, then don't fucking call me. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's business hours and it's work. If I'm at work and my desk phone's ringing, I'm like, all right, I know it's work shit.
You know what sucks is like when you're wearing like a very like nice tracksuit.
I like the tracksuit.
Like this is the thing. Like I'm moving around a lot, but like I'm comfortable in this. But I'm like not because my stomach yet. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I thought you were worried about your balls showing. Like you know what I'm saying? Show a little knot. You don't get kicked off the internet because your bell end's showing. But
you like this tracksuit.
I did like the dude. I walked up and I was like, that's a fly tracksuit, Chase. That athleisure look. It's. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a business suit worn to the gym, but that's the kind of business suit you could wear to the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a slick look.
I like to be pliable.
You mean flexible? Pliable?
Pliable is flexible.
Yeah, but pliable means someone's bending you around like they're fucking you in prison or something. You know what I'm saying? Like pliable means you could, like someone else is stretch. If you're stretching yourself, you're stretching. But like
word.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, man.
This is I gotta read, dog. This is like it's like I just gotta. You know what I gotta start doing? Stop fucking saying words that you don't like. Just
no. You keep doing it. It's it's one of my favorite parts about you. How you like. You're almost right with the saying, but it's not quite there. We were just talking about you combined ill-informed and uninformed before the show. And it's like no, it's uninformed or ill-informed.
Right.
You can't in-inform somebody. You can't in-inform. That's what you said. You said I'm uninformed. I'm like, you mean uninformed?
But you know what I'm saying.
I know, yeah, that's the thing. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
You just don't quite get it there.
I don't care about semantics, dog. Like I don't like.
Yeah,
like,
I don't care about the English language. I'm just talking here.
Just.
Yeah, man. But the tracksuit, and then Chase,
Yeah.
like Chase was saying, he was stretching. He wasn't being plied. He was stretching.
No.
He was like, you can't stretch like these in dungarees. I was like, bro, that's how you know you're over 40. You use the fucking phrase dungarees to refer to denim jeans.
That's how old I am.
Yeah.
I am getting older. Dungarees.
We all are.
When's the last time someone actually said that word? Dungarees.
I know, son. Wear some Oshkosh bagosh. Remember those fucking things?
I wasn't Oshkosh. I wasn't an Oshposh. I wasn't an Oshposh.
Bagosh.
Oshposh bagosh.
Yeah.
I wasn't an Oshposh bagosh, dude. I was more like a husky. I was a husky.
Oh yeah.
Huskies.
Well, that was back in the day. They, instead of calling somebody fat, like, and it was always guys. Like, you never refer to a woman as husky, but like back in the day, fat kid, like fat boys.
Yeah.
Oh, he's husky. You got to shop in the husky section.
Right.
You know, and I think we should bring husky back. I think that sounds better than fat.
Husky?
Yeah. Chase, you're husky. I'm husky.
I'll call a chick husky.
Well, you only fuck husky chicks.
Well,
I'll take what I can get.
well. I like them birthed. I like them,
Here's a word for you, a good vocabulary word, $5 word, Zoftig. So a fat, like a husky woman, Zoftig.
What's like? What do you?
Which means a fat bitch.
In like Sweden, like the word, like I don't like a Zoftag. I'm not gonna go down and saying the word Zoftag in fucking Boston. The fuck you?
Yeah, no one will get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other words for fat they used to call chicks. Yo, but back in the day, that was like, I mean, you can look at like photos. I saw a meme on the internet where they show like the ideal woman over time.
Yeah.
And in like the Victorian era, like the 1870s or whatever the fuck that was, they like their bitches fat. And I'm not talking about like thick like a girl in a rap video.
Okay.
I'm talking about like a fat bitch. They like them like that.
I like them thick.
Yeah, to each their own.
Big fan. I like them thick.
I mean, that's the thing too, man. Thank God human beings have different tastes, right? Because there's chicks out there that just love fat dudes and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh, this is the ideal figure. I'm like, yeah, but everyone's having sex, so everyone's somebody's kink in some way. You know?
Oh yeah. I'm a savage. I just like if
you like the toothless meth head from fucking Malden. That's your type.
No.
Yeah,
once you start getting into the heavy drugs.
Into the heavy, yeah.
Well,
I like light drug use amongst my women.
Like light, yeah. I can't deal.
I'll tell you what I don't like, and look, and it's not against them being sober. I don't like.
Yeah.
Like if a girl doesn't do anything, it's like then what? How do you cut loose? You know, like I feel like everyone has to have some sort of vice for me to trust you.
Right.
You know, like as a human being, you can't be completely devoid
perfect
of needing some sort of activity or hobby or vice that that lets you cut loose a little bit. Yeah. I've said it before. You know, that's the weird thing about Donald Trump to me. The motherfucker never had a drink or a drug in his life. It's like, how do you trust that guy?
Yeah.
You know, like what? I need to know he's human. You know, like I need you to be. You know,
right.
The fact that Barack Obama smoked Newports in the Oval Office, I'm like, all right, I can fuck with Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? Like that's he's got a vice. You know, fucking George Bush was a raging alcoholic and cokehead, and he in AA, so he can't do it anymore. But I can trust that guy because he's been through. You know, he's in a 12-step program. I know those cats. You know, like when you've never had a drink or a drug.
Yeah.
In your entire life, it's like, what is wrong with you, dude? Like, you know?
I never really got into like the drugs part.
Yeah, but you smoke weed.
I mean, to my sponsors, allegedly.
My sponsors, allegedly. We smoked weed on this podcast live.
R. Kelly, that wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was a Shaggy.
No, but some of that Mary Jane, that devil's lettuce doesn't really hurt anyone, I think. But
no.
But I think like, yeah, if there's something that you're like, if I meet someone and it's, actually, let me give you an example. Right? Actually, it's interesting that you said that because I have a friend and she's like, she was dating this guy. The guy, they're both in the music business. She's a DJ. He's a DJ. She drinks. I mean, she likes to have fun. She likes to have drinks. He's sober. You know. Converted into being sober.
Yeah.
Right? And there was an ultimatum at some point that she was telling me that, he said that, I know I'd love to, continue this, but, I really, really like need for you to kind of like be sober. And she's like,
but then this is over.
She's like, I just can't do that. I just can't do that. You know, she's like, I care about you. You know, I love you as a person. But if you're looking for someone for that specifically,
yeah,
and then you need to find someone that is that.
Yeah.
And
he's allowed to have that requirement. And she's allowed to say, I'm not changing my lifestyle for you.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's a big part. That's a big part of any relationship, man.
Yeah.
That's what's most important in a relationship. Being comfortable with their flaws. You know, it's easy to love someone for their positive traits. What keeps you together in a long-term relationship, I've found, is that you find that other person's flaws to not be a problem, and in some ways funny. You know, like, oh, you know, that's just how Randy is. That's how Chase. Chase is on one tonight. You know, or Jessica or Rachel, whoever. You know, like,
Yeah.
You know, she's doing this again, and you kind of laugh it off. That's what's important. You know, like. Because you're never going to get 100% of what you want.
No.
But if you can deal with the 20% of bullshit and it's not a game, it's not a red flag, game over type situation. Yeah. You can make that relationship work.
And I think you just said, yeah. For me, it's like right there. It's like getting to the level of like, if once you reach that area where it doesn't like effectively physically affect somebody,
yeah.
or it doesn't like, if it doesn't get to a point where it's like it's causing like a lot of like real issues, yeah, you got to kind of have to accept people for who they are.
Because you're not going to change anybody. You know, I mean, around the margins, you can you can like build a lifestyle together, but who they are at their core, going back to values, what we spoke about last time, we were on.
Yeah.
You're not going to change that, so you either you accept it or you got to move on. You know.
I think that, for me, I had to learn that. You know.
Yeah.
A little bit. You know.
It took me fucking 40 years and I don't know how many failed relationships. You
know. Yeah. Because you want. I think at the end of the day, like everybody wants people to kind of like be people who they care about. They want them to be well. You know. They want them to. You know. They want to live like a healthy life. You know?
Yeah. And you shouldn't want to change someone you love. You should love them for who they are. Mm-hmm. Like it's too much fucking. Making a relationship work is hard enough. That to then add to that, trying to change a person or adjust their personality, fucking, it's impossible.
I think there's a saying out there. I think I've said it on many podcasts, and I heard it from some like Indian guru dude. Yeah. Like that's another thing too. I like watching Indian like guru.
Do they have to be Indian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to like Jeff. I'm already some guy named Jeff from like or Aaron from fucking
Phoenix.
From Phoenix. Like,
yeah, you got to be wearing some sort of silken robe.
Yeah, it's
like he's got to be in some ashram somewhere for you to respect what he's saying.
Yeah, you got to have some incense burning in the back.
Yeah,
he's got to like
those little bells. Ting, ting.
He's got to take his time with each word. You know, Indian gurus, they take their time with each word.
Yeah, I think that's why I can never be a guru, man. Speaking of gurus, I was watching this. Oh, bro, you got to check this shit out, man. I was watching on Netflix the other day with my lady. We were watching this new documentary called Rael about the Raelians, and it's this guy who he started a religion based on aliens. Basically, he's like, God isn't some mystical being in the sky. God is just actually super advanced aliens, like a civilization much more advanced than us that live on other planets that put us here. So what we think of as God is aliens. And I'm like, you know what? I heard lots of lines of bullshit before from cult leaders. But that doesn't sound any crazier than the traditional Christian, theology of, God's a spirit in the sky. It's like, all right, he's just saying God's an alien in the sky. Like, all right. But of course, it devolves into, he was just a guy, wearing a black shirt and regular haircut. He grows his beard out, looks like Jesus, then starts putting on white robes. You got to have the robes. And like you said, he speaks slowly and deliberately, and he's not making any sense. Right. But he's speaking, very deliberately, and he's got a calming voice, that kind of shit going on. Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason why I can never be a guru, because I'm too, I'm too aggressive. I gotta soften my speech
a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like this.
And be a little kinder. It's like, and be like, contemplative. Like, nah, man, what are we talking about here? Let's get to the meat of this conversation.
You definitely got.
I'm way too aggressive with my speech to be a guru.
Let's say a little rigid.
Yeah.
When people say, how do you explain Randy? I was like, he's great. A little rigid.
Yeah, a little stiff. But that's the thing. Yeah, like, I'm never going to dress in a funky robe and wear a big chalice around my neck. Like, that's like, because I feel like there's never going to be a guru in jeans, Like you always got to wear the stupid robes and get a stupid long haircut. And invariably, all these guys start looking like Jesus. They grow their beard. I mean, there was one guy, the Nexium guy. The Nexium guy was probably the closest to, like, you know, a 21st century guru who wore like regular polo shirts and shorts and shit. But even he grew his hair long and had a beard.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have some distinguishing characteristic. And if you're just like a regular guy, like I look too fucking regular to be a guru.
I just feel like you got to look like you have a lot of plants in your house. For me to listen to any type of expertise, like shit. Like you gotta, if you don't look like you have plants, or you're not a botanist, or like you're something like, you gotta have incense. You gotta look like you're not part of like this regular world.
Now, if you were a guru, if you were like a cult leader,
who says I wasn't?
That's a good point. That's right. Who says I wasn't? You got a following of one yourself.
Yeah,
you just got to grow that number out.
And The Rock.
Yeah, and The Rock. What would your like platform be like? Because all these guys are like, you know, they become the second coming of Christ. They're a prophet. What would your line of bullshit be? Well, would you say you're like a lost tribe of Israel, like you're some African king? What would you go with?
I think I'd just come back as like a black version of Ravish and Rick Rude.
I haven't thought of Ravish and Rick Rude in forever, son.
Like, I'd come back as like an old time WWE guy.
Yeah,
you know?
If they got a costume. You know what I'm saying? That would work.
Yeah, he would actually Ravish and Rick Rude. He would like actually spray paint like his own face or like.
Oh yeah, on his pants. That's right. He had his own face on his pants. I don't remember anybody doing that before him. You know, and then Steve got it tattooed on his back like a dope. But
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'd probably talk about like just you know. I think I don't know what I'll talk about right now.
I mean, look, we all know where it would end up. It's where every cult ends up. Give me all your money and let me have sex with your wife. That's where all these cults, I've said it 1,000 times. Yeah. That's where and sure enough, the Raelians, that's where it ended up.
Yeah.
But what I can't believe is that like, how? Like these guys, instead of being fucking bullshit artists and cult leaders, just be like, what's his name from The Wolf of Wall Street? Just be like, I'm the best salesman on earth. I will teach you these sales techniques.
Right.
That I want to go and see a cult leader, but do like a seminar. Teach me how to sell a line of bullshit the way you're selling that line of bullshit. That's what I want. Bro, because they could sell you on aliens, being God, and they put us here on Earth. They can sell you that story. They can definitely sell you a car. The car is actually real. You know what I'm saying? Or a fucking rug or whatever, any other item that you might buy from a salesperson. If they can sell you a fake religion, they can sell you a real piece of actual consumer goods.
Yeah.
So I want to learn that skill. Those are the guys. That's why I should be looking for fucking salespeople in a business. Go to some of these like small little cults. Be like, hey man, fuck all this. You want to come work for me? I'll pay you $300,000 a year if you could fucking sell these cars.
You could be a good salesman. You could be definitely a good salesman.
Oh no, I'm a terrible salesman. Terrible salesman.
Oh yeah.
I can only sell products I believe in. If I think it's a line of bullshit, I can't do it. But I've also always said, if you have a good product, you don't need a marketing department. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about, drugs. Have you ever seen an advertisement for marijuana? Nope. They're not allowed to advertise. It's illegal.
It's illegal.
Sales are at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows weed works. Right. It's the shit. It gets you high. Like, same thing with cocaine. I've said it before. There's never been an there's only been negative advertisers for cocaine. Right. Cocaine sales, still at an all-time high. Pussy, sex. I've never seen an advertisement for sex. But yet we're all still hunting it because everybody knows it's dope. If your shit is dope, think about it.
I mean, I got a couple. You got
a couple. There's some people out there you have to market.
There's a couple links I could send you.
Yeah, exactly. But it's true, man. Like the more marketing you have to do for your product, the shittier that product is.
Yeah, because I feel like if you have to do, you pretty much like you have to like over like compromise what you like lacking to.
You did it again. Overcompensate.
What did I say?
Overcompromise.
Welcome back, baby.
Cheers, man.
I'm back, baby.
You're doing it again.
What did I say? Overcompromise?
Yeah, it's episode 390 is like episode 1. Although this time around, you haven't been here since you became a U.S. citizen. Oh, congratulations, bro. Let's fucking clap it up for Chase.
Let's do it.
He's allowed to stay here. I was worried for a second. I was pretty sure his green card was expired. They were going to kick his ass out.
I was worried too, son.
Yeah. So how'd that work? So how'd you go through all that? Did you have to like go and like because I know your green card, like you hadn't like updated this shit in forever. Did you have to like get that squared away before you went for your citizenship?
Yeah, I had to get like no. So basically, I guess the status that I had on my green card.
You were here for long enough.
Yeah, it's
permanent resident.
It's a permanent resident alien.
Okay.
Yeah, permanent, son.
They can't get rid of you. Son.
Yeah, y'all wasn't getting rid of me like that. But I had to get like a more elevated permanent.
Yeah.
You know, like the citizenship is more like
Yeah. So I got 2 questions for you. One, how much does it cost? Because I'm sure they charge you to be a U.S. citizen. Ain't shit for free in this country.
They absolutely charge you, and it's so messed up how much they charge people.
How much was it
to try to be naturalized? And however, how much? If you ask me how much I paid, I paid $0.
How'd you get away with that?
I mean, so at the time,
GoFundMe
during COVID. No, I don't do that. Fuck that. So at the time, during COVID, right? I mean, I hate to say it, there were some kind of good things that happened with COVID.
Yeah, man, they were sending me $1,000 a week not to work, son.
So like it's like,
which was funny because I wasn't making any money as a comedian. I got a fucking raise during the pandemic, son. They sending me $1,000 a week to sit on my fat ass. I'm like, all right, this ain't so bad.
I'm like, people need to get sick more often.
Yeah. We need another pandemic. I'm getting my pockets are kind of light.
Not fatally, but like just enough to
cough.
Just enough to
a little cough.
Just enough for me to get like an incentive check.
Yeah, just for me to get that $700 stimmy check. You know what I'm saying?
Like we have like the actual like the vaccine a little bit, but I just want you to be sick a little bit. For like 6 weeks so I can get.
Oh yeah. But
so it was free though, and there was a plant. There was so there's a program in Boston called the AB. There's a program, a community program called ABCD in Boston.
Okay.
And if you apply, when you apply, there's certain like programs,
give you grants and shit like that,
things like that. And a lot of people don't know. So I was referred by it, and I was like, I called them and said, hey,
I've been here 30 years.
I've been here like a long time, this and that. I'm looking to become a citizen. They're like, okay, send me a copy of your ID. Send me, your social security information. We have lawyers, everything, to do everything for you. I never had to sign. I had to sign a couple things, but I never had to like pay for anything. Yeah. You have to be approved for the grant.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like we weren't working, so I got approved. Dude, it took like if I could tell you, it took less than probably took like 9 months, but it would have been even sooner if COVID didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I didn't pay. There's money out there for people, and if there's anyone listening who's not like a citizen, look at your local cities.
Man.
Yeah,
That's
look
great.
at your local city programs and like reach out to these people and say, there's money out there. There's money out there.
Yeah, because I thought what you were going to say was, I didn't pay because I took that government stimmy check and gave it right back to him for my citizenship application, which is great, right?
What? Yo, right? So I took all the stimulus, son. I'm not giving no stimulus back.
I'm not giving any of that back.
I'm not giving nothing back, son. What? Finders keepers, losers weepers. Fuck out of here, son. You're gonna come back and get me now, son? Fuck out.
But I mean, it would be ironic that you use government funds to pay them for your citizenship application. You know what I'm saying?
Funds that we actually participate in for taxes, federal taxes.
Yeah. So Chase got the angle right there. That wasn't free money. I paid my taxes all these years. I'm getting my money back.
I'm getting something back.
That's how I felt about the unemployment.
Well, I also feel like when it comes to like Social Security, son.
Yeah.
Like if they're saying like there's not gonna be no Social Security.
Yeah, give me that shit back right now. Yeah, give me that money right now,
son.
Give
it to me now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Give it to me now. Like give it to me now. And God forbid, you don't give it to me.
Yeah, here it is. Oh, I looked it up. How much it costs to apply for U.S. citizenship? It costs $725
just for the app.
Just for the application.
Yeah.
And then there's and then you can rack up legal fees that can be estimated over from $1,000 to $2,000.
Well, that's just one. That's one component of that.
One component. Yeah, you got to go through all the. There's a whole page. I'm looking at this shit. There's like 1,500 fucking steps.
And if you're like if you're not even like actual if you don't even have like a social security number.
Oh,
you have to. So let's just say this: if you're like an immigrant and you're coming from a country, right, and you came here and you want to, participate and be a citizen, first you got to get a green card.
Yeah.
Now what they did was the rule is now you actually have to reside in the United States for 5 years before you even apply to even have a green card first.
Okay.
So then you got to wait 5 years.
So you're on you're paying for your visa for 5 years. Then you got to get the green card. Then you got to wait. God knows how long on a green card before you get that. Yeah.
And then from there you can apply. Once you get your green card, you can apply to get your citizenship. And then I don't know, man. They're just making it really expensive for people. Like it's just interesting because there's a lot of people that are like, I don't know. I'm kind of like, if I could say this, like it's weird position to kind of be in and see, because I see people one side, they're like, well, there's people that are like, well, people need to come here legally, and participate the right way and do. I get that, but also it's like, well, these people are coming,
they're fucking desperate,
and they're desperate, and they're coming to be part of something, contribute for their families and stuff, but then we have systems in place that makes it even more harder for them to do it.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like it's You're really contradicting, like, you know, the
and
process.
Look, and I'm a guy that believes we should have border security, but I'm also a liberal guy that you should have a path to citizenship as an immigrant. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point. And if you think about it too, like, look, $725 to become a citizen in this country. I mean, look, you pay a cover charge to go to the hot club. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the hottest country on earth, right? I mean, this is the shit, right? Everyone thinks like America's where you can make it. Right. So I get there's an entry fee. But like I said, there's got to be a path, and you can't just have people pouring over. But you know what it does show you, and I've said this 1,000 times, man. You know, I do not blame these migrants for trying to run across the border because they're leaving something desperate. You know, like, bro, that
first of all, let me say this.
They walk from Guatemala over here. You know how much you want to be in America to walk 3,000 miles to get to the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. I get why they're coming, but you also have to have some order. You can't just have people pouring over. You know what I'm saying?
No. I mean, you gotta. I think I don't know. I was gonna say we're a smart enough country to get this right, but maybe I'm a little
yeah, we used to be. We used to be a serious country.
Yeah.
Now we can't do shit. So.
Now it's so remarkable to me, dog. I'll be thinking in my room, you know, and I just be like, I'll smoke some weed, and you think like you know. Sometimes I smoke weed and I thought like I just created cancer. It's weird. Like
you cured cancer in your head.
Yeah, it's like no, Abel.
Yeah, why don't they just cut it out?
Yeah, why don't you just do this?
No medical degree. You're fucking opining on shit like this.
But then these people, Tamer Katan.
Yeah.
Right.
Very funny guy. Shout out Tamer Katan.
Shout out Tamer Katan. I always remember like he actually said this on our podcast, like Race It Blow, many years ago, and he said, I don't know if you remember, and he was talking about we were talking about immigration. He's like, Americans, like, generally need to understand, right, that most immigrants that come to this country, you're getting, most of them, you're getting the best of where they're coming from. Yeah. Because, they want to come and
they went through all the trouble to get here. Yeah. You wouldn't go through all that trouble unless you really wanted to be here.
Most of the people you are getting, you're getting the best of the
hardest working, at least.
Hardest working people. Now, obviously, because rule of numbers, right?
Yeah, if you have 2 million people in, there's gonna be a lot of assholes coming in behind that.
Fucking people that are gonna be not on board with that. Yeah, right. And then we should, as a country, understand that and work to fucking hold these people who don't come here with the right intentions responsible. Yeah, and send them fucking back to where they come from, especially if they're causing like violence, crimes, and shit like that. Go the fuck back. Yeah, I don't even care. Like, as soon as you come in, you do something. If I was president, dude, I'd be like one. If you're fucking coming to this country and you're not like a legal citizen or not have immigrant and you come and like kill someone or you run over someone, or steal someone,
any felony offense, I agree with that.
Yeah, like housing.
Watch
how many people put that rule in there and see how many fucking like people won't try to
housing immigrants, legal or illegal, that have committed felonies seems to be a great way to waste money when you can just buy one plane, because it costs $100,000 a year to house a federal inmate. Just a plane ticket back to Nicaragua costs about $600. You know. Put them on a plane and just dump them. You know, like, why are we, the guy robbed the liquor store. It's like, all right, well, you don't get to be here anymore. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. Like,
it was so funny. I was watching this guy. I don't know if we could pull. I think he's was the president. He might be the prime minister of Sweden or Denmark or something. But he was saying about like Muslims, in the country. He was just saying like. No, not so much Muslims. He's about immigrants. Not Muslims. He's about immigrants. He's like, we don't. If you have one, like, if you come here and like mess up once, you're gone. Yeah, like that's it. Like, and he's like, this is not like.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, France's prime minister.
It's just like, Europe seems to have it. I feel like a little bit better than us. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the thing is, they have. They put more resources to dealing with it, like because right now there's just a shortage of judges, and because to get an asylum hearing takes like 7 years. Yeah, hell yeah. So these guys have to have these people have to have their day in court. To become a citizen, you need to have a judge fucking rule on shit. Like if you're here for asylum, and they're just not giving them court dates. It's like, well, just get more judges. Okay, let's get through this fucking list. Let's pick the winners and throw out the losers. Like there's just a pile of paper and armies of people showing up, and no one's sifting through. It's like getting infinite resumes and never picking a fucking candidate. Like you got to pick the winners.
You would think like United States would have it
figured out by now.
No, but that's the thing. That's the expectation. I feel like it's a failed expectation. Yeah, because it's a high expectation. I think because if you think about it, the United States, is only about a couple hundred years old.
Yeah, 200 years old, 220 years old, something.
And I think, for many years, like people, the the expectations of the United States has been a little bit warped.
Yeah.
Because you would think, do you think a 200-year-old country would have it all figured out by now?
Oh, we're pretty new relative to other countries, especially Europe. I mean, some of those countries are thousands of years old.
Thousands of years, yeah.
But think about it too, man. Like, if what was I going to say? Like, if the immigration thing is interesting because like I said, you want to get good people in, but also you want to make sure that the people coming in respect American values. And that's something I think is getting lost now in this day and age. Everyone's like, oh, respect this culture, respect that culture. You can respect everyone's culture, but when you move here, you should want to live as an American. Like I have.
What's your definition of American?
I have a problem with. We'll take the hot button topic right now, right?
Yeah.
Islam. You're absolutely allowed to practice any religion you want. I totally believe in that. Freedom of religion is in the Constitution. It's a founding principle of this country.
Right.
But this country isn't based on a religion. You're allowed to practice any religion. Right,
this country was founded on Christianity.
Yeah, but no, they were Christian people that came here.
Right.
But the First Amendment of the Constitution says the separation of church and state.
So separation of church. Right.
But because in traditional, like, very strict Islamic culture, you can beat your wife, you can make her wear a burqa. You don't believe in any sort of same-sex marriage or even same-sex couples. Gay people are killed in some of these fundamental Islamic countries.
Yeah.
You can't bring that here.
No.
You have to respect American laws. Yeah, you could be a Muslim and be a practicing Muslim, but you can't force your wife to stay home and not drive her car. That's against American laws.
Sure. But I don't
like if it's against American law, I don't give a fuck about your religion.
Yeah,
our laws trump your religion. That's it.
No,
if you want to live here, you live as an American. You can't beat your wife the way you would in Saudi Arabia here because it's a crime here. So if you want to bring your religion, fine, but you can't bring that part of it. The bad part stays over there.
Sure.
Like just like when I go to Saudi Arabia, I don't expect.
Is there evidence of people doing that in this country?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are fundamentalists. There's even fundamentalist Christians here. I have a problem with them too because they're breaking the law. Like they're they're saying their wives can't go to school and shit like that. It's like their daughters can't go to school. It's like this is not. Right. This is like you can practice your religion as long as it doesn't conflict with American rules, like American rules and laws.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't go to Saudi Arabia and expect to behave like an American in their country because I have to apply to their rules.
Yeah.
It's
simple. Yeah.
So if you come here, you're allowed to practice whatever religion you want, but you can't bring some of these things that are archaic that are against American laws. I'm just not with that.
I think most people understand that.
Yeah, but that's it. But now we're so tolerant. We're tolerating intolerance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in such support of Islam. They should be allowed to force their wives to wear burqas and beat them if they misbehave. It's like, no. That's against the law. Like, you can practice it all you want up until it comes to hitting your wife for not making dinner.
Yeah.
Then I got a fucking problem with that.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
There's
like,
parts of
or whatever other
yeah.
crazy rules that different religions have. I mean, all religions have different rules.
Yeah.
I mean, Catholicism has. I was raised Catholic. They're crazy as fuck too.
I feel like each religion has areas of their
of course, but you can't practice that if it's against American law. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't stone the gay people to death in this country, even though you can in Saudi Arabia. We have rules here, and they're different than over there. That's it. If you want to come here, you want to live like an American. You can't bring, you can bring most of your culture, but if it's against the rules here, you can't bring that part.
Right.
That's where I draw the line with it.
But rules change.
Yeah, that's true. Shit. In this country, you used to be able to beat your wife, and they changed that rule.
So,
within the last century. I mean, I think up until like the 50s, you could beat the shit out of your wife.
My brother, my brother converted to Islam. All my brothers did. Recently.
Nice. No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. How is that hard? Is that a hard process? I haven't really looked at converting to other religions.
I don't know. I didn't really look at the tryout sessions.
Yeah. You didn't go to training camp? I don't Islam training camp?
Yeah.
Where they do the monkey bars and shit?
It wasn't on the Starbucks bulletin board, like fucking like in a vanilla latte. Saturday Islam tryouts 6 to 3, come down. It wasn't like that. Yeah. It was more of like for him, like I mean, it was a personal decision for him, and there's very, very different like areas of like Islam, and there's very radicals, of course, and there's ones that are very liberal. There's like conservatism.
Well, I think there needs to be more moderates across the board, both in religions and in politics. Yeah. Moderate people don't. That seems to be a dying breed. Mm-hmm. That's the real problem, I think. Moderates in religion, moderates in politics, moderates in social views.
Most Muslims that I know, let me tell you.
Most Muslims I know fucking cool as shit.
Most Muslims most of them, like 90% of them, 95%, are the most peaceful people.
They're good people.
They're the most giving people.
You wouldn't know any difference.
They put God first, like before anything.
Yeah,
you know,
I put me first, but
yeah, well, you know, in your own right, you're a god too. Don't act like
I'm a god of my own mind. I'm a god of one.
Yeah, you once the whiskey comes, you know,
yeah. No, but I'll give an example, a great example of what I think is the way moderate Muslims and even fundamental Muslims should sort of embrace American culture. There's a great friend and a fan of mine. She's probably listening to the podcast. Nishat, shout out Nishat. She's wonderful. She is, she wears the traditional garb. Okay. You know, she's Muslim, but her views are very progressive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's wonderful, right? Like, she's a very, very liberal, very progressive leading person. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, yeah, she respects religion, even the more fundamental parts where you do wear like the more traditional garb.
Yeah.
But she believes in gay rights. You know, she believes in free speech. She believes in all the things that moderate people and liberal people believe in. Yeah. And I'm like, that's the kind of there should be more of that. Like, you can practice your religion without being a tyrant. You know. Yeah. There's more of that. There needs to be more of that, in my opinion.
Yes, yeah, and it has to be a little bit more. You have to have also
understanding. You know, just be kindness. That cuts across everything. Yeah. You know this, man. Yeah. Just be nice to people. If you're an asshole, like, stop that. You know, like, you shouldn't want to hurt anybody. You shouldn't want to tell anyone else how to live. You know, you shouldn't want harm to come out to anyone. All these they're just simple, basic things you learn in fucking kindergarten. You know, like all the things you need to survive in life, all the values. I feel like by kindergarten you've learned them, or you're never going to get it.
America has a lot of. America's in a very interesting place. You know, it's in a very interesting place because it's a lot of things that are happening now. It's making a lot of people kind of have discussions about certain things that are obviously some are easy, most are not.
Yeah. And people aren't listening though. Everyone wants to win the point. No one's taking in information. Like, oh, I never thought of it that way. How many times have you heard someone say that in the last year? I never thought about it like that. I've said it dozens of times. But like when you're watching these fucking assholes on CNN or Fox News, you never hear that.
That's because they're missing. We're losing humility.
Yeah, and we're losing the fact that we're all much more similar than we are dissimilar.
We're losing.
Right, we're all Americans first, and everything else second. Like, so, we forget that. You know, everyone's now the enemy.
I wouldn't even put America first. I'd put humans first.
Humans first, yeah.
Like this whole thing about America first. Like, let me tell you something, man. There's no one that can describe America better than an immigrant.
Oh, well, dude, I couldn't agree with you more.
Let me repeat that. That on this podcast. There's no one better than to describe what America is than an immigrant from another country. And the reason why is because they are able to see both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
And when you
have
perspective,
we don't have
perspective that most Americans don't have.
And they want to be here. They came here. Yeah. Leaving something for something.
Right. And they can take one perspective of where they came from, a lived experience where they came from, and now they're living a different experience, right? And now they can say, okay, this is exactly what it is, right?
Yeah.
Now,
and I've said this, Chase. I learned this when I went to Colombia. I was talking with a woman who was working at the beach bar we went to, and she was talking about. She was asking us all about. She spoke English.
Does she have a BBL?
What's that?
Does she have a BBL?
I mean, in Colombia, they're all beautiful. All those women are gorgeous, man. It's incredible. Right. But she was like, yeah, I'm saving up some money. She was working at like a resort. She's like, I'm saving up some money because I want to move to America, but I want to make enough so I can bring my mom with me. And
that's what they do.
Yeah, and so I came to the conclusion that the American dream really lives in the hearts of people who want to come here, you know, and immigrants who are trying to get here. Like, Americans take being an American for granted, whereas immigrants who are trying to get here do not.
Can I tell you something?
Do not at all take it for granted.
Let me tell you something. I've had family die.
Yeah.
Coming
trying to get over here. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I have family members try to, they fled from where I'm from.
Yeah.
You know, try to go to Italy, you know, stay in Italy for a little bit because they get asylum.
Yeah, work their way over here.
And then they wait, and they work, and they're trying to come over here. I've had family members die in the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay?
Crazy.
Well, I'm telling you, it's real, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
That's how bad people want it.
That's how bad people want to come here, dog, that they're sacrificing their lives to come over here.
Yeah.
So for anyone to kind of, we need to get a grip. Yeah. What I'm saying is, like, we need to get a grip. And we
need to it's not a horde of drug cartel members trying to get over here. It's mostly desperate people looking for work. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. You know? And look, like I said, you can't have them pouring in like that because you can't control any. Also, there's no resources, right? I mean, you don't want to cage these people when they get here. You want to have places for these people to go. You know, we don't need more homeless people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we got to get our shit together. But
we have the money. If you're talking about economics,
we spend money on shit we don't need.
We just allocate money. We're just distributing money to left and right. So when people say, "Oh, we don't have money," that's another thing too. When people say "Oh, we don't have money for this," you know, we don't have money for that. I was like, "Are you sure?"
Also,
you sure we don't have money?
Also, like, also the debt and the deficit. It's like, who the fuck is going to collect? You know, like China, good luck trying to get your money back. You know, like whatever. Make the national debt $12 quadrillion. We're not paying it back. You know what I'm saying? You can't squeeze blood from a stone. You know what I'm saying?
Unless it's a blood diamond.
Fuck you gonna do, son? We got more guns than you. Fuck you.
Well, China's interesting because China.
You basically give a loan to a guy with a gun to your head. It's like, let me borrow $5. You'll get it back. No, you won't.
This is what's interesting about China, and hopefully, if the producer can pull this up, if you put China Prime Minister talking to China Prime Minister talking to British journalists about competing in the world. Okay. Right. And he was talking about the British journalist, I believe, was asking like, he's asking them like, to the Prime Minister of China, he's like, do you think like China is gonna be able to compete, with the rest of the world, and then if they are, do you want, do you see war coming? And China, the guy was like,
there you go. China says UK's golden era with China is over. Yeah.
And the guy from China was just like, competition from who? He's like, we lead the world in manufacturing. Yeah. we lead the world in like outsourcing, like exporting, like everything. He's like,
but you know what they don't lead the world in?
Right.
Kicking ass. I mean, we kill a lot. Our war machine is still the biggest, baddest motherfucker on the planet.
Well, listen,
I think China has 2 aircraft carriers. We have 23.
Yeah, but do we?
You know what I'm saying? Like the scale of our army is insane.
Yeah, but let's talk about that for a second. Do we want to be known as a fucking bully?
No, but that's all we got left. That's all we got left, bro. We don't make a fucking VCR or a TV worth of shit, like George Carlin said.
Whose fault is that, though?
That's our own. I mean,
so how can
we got fat and lazy in this country.
How the fuck are we going to blame, right?
Other people for our bullshit.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Yeah. We live in such hypocrisy in this country.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's our chief export. That's
like saying like with black people.
That and pop music. Hypocrisy and pop music. That's what we export around the world.
We're the best at exploiting, bro. We're masters at exploiting it and capitalizing on other people's shit.
Yeah. Let me ask you, getting back to your citizenship, because I don't know if you remember this, episode 3. Yeah. If you guys want to go way back to one of the funniest episodes, one of my personal favorites, when I gave Chase the citizenship test. Because to become a citizen, you have to take a little quiz.
By the way.
And they ask you 10 questions. You have to get 7 right. Right? Is that it?
By the way, yeah. I did get my citizenship, and I got my citizenship on Juneteenth, Black History Month.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Juneteenth, yeah, the new holiday.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, so how did you do? You obviously passed because you became a citizen. But how did you score on that citizenship test? Did you get 7 out of 10? Or did you get 8 out of 10? Because you have to get like at least 7, I think.
All right.
He cheated on it. Yeah. He was copying off the guy next to him.
I passed, which is great. I think I got 80.
All right.
I got an 80. Right. It was only 10 questions.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But I remember when I gave it to you on air.
Yeah.
This is going to be 6 years ago now.
Right.
You failed miserably.
Oh, it's terrible.
It was actually 6 years ago, right around this time. Because it was episode 3, and we started recording. It would have been the 3rd week of January, the 4th week of January. So yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago to the day.
Yeah.
I gave you the test. You failed, but now you passed.
Well, I learned. I studied.
You studied?
I studied. No,
Columbus sailed the Navy Blue.
I learned. Columbus didn't sail the Navy Blue, but but they let me in. Motherfucker, can't take it back.
Yeah,
now.
You can't go. Yeah, can't get out now.
Can't take it back now, bro. Can't take my citizenship back, baby.
I love it.
Actually, Trump was the one that got me like scared to get it.
Oh, you thought he was going to start throwing motherfuckers out?
Not really.
Yeah.
Come on.
Bro, that motherfucker has 1,000 illegal aliens working for him. He doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, I bet if you went down to Mar-a-Lago, you'd find at least 20 illegals, cutting grass. You know what I'm saying? let's not shit a shitter here.
Yeah, I don't think, I think people were, yeah. I mean, let's just say, he's not the, he's not the, let's say, best delivery of information for sure. But,
no.
I mean, did I think he was going to come to my door and like have the feds come and lock my door and take me away? No. Like, that's the thing about America too. Like, as much as like people want to like, get scared about certain things happening, there's also a comfort in America. Like, listen, everything's going to be fine, man. Like, people.
Yeah, I mean, day to day shit doesn't, my life didn't change. Like I still went and got coffee the next day and nothing happened.
No.
Like it was just fucking normal.
Yeah. But for people who are, I can understand also for people on the other side that, let's say didn't have their papers in order.
Yeah.
It was getting real. It was getting real, man. He definitely border security is very important. We want to have people that are coming here that are. You don't want to have people coming over here that's going to be causing harm to people.
Of course not.
I mean, you don't want that anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But we should have a checks and balance system in place. Which I feel like
there's got to be some sort of order.
Dude, we have some of the smartest people in the world. Like, I just don't understand how we can't just figure this shit out. Like, I'd be literally.
I'll tell you why. Because they don't want to.
Yeah.
Just like they just killed a border deal last week.
Yeah.
Why? Because they want to run. They want to win. They want to run elections against it. They don't. If they don't want to fix a problem, they just want to get elected. They could give a fuck about making any change in this country or approving it. They just want to keep their fat ass in their cushy federal job. That's really what matters.
I underestimated you, actually.
How's that?
I forgot to tell you this. I mean, I underestimate you a lot. But
join the club.
But, you said also on the podcast too, like a while ago, we were in Boston. I think democracy, the question about democracy.
Yeah.
And I think you said he's like, yeah, I think at that time you even back then, like 4 or 5 years ago, you were like, oh yeah, democracy is like but democracy is being threatened right now.
Yeah.
And I just didn't understand that. I'm like, because at the time I was an idiot. Like I wasn't paying attention to news. I'm like, Randy, this is like.
Well, it's the democracy the way we know it.
And like,
like we used to be a serious country that would tackle issues, and you might have a disagreeing view, but the other party wasn't the enemy. Now we're all at each other's throats. You can't have a democracy if everyone doesn't trust each other.
I can't even have.
You know what I'm saying? It's too fucked up, man.
I think at every level, everyone just wants to be fucking right.
Like, they want to be right more
everyone.
than.
I just went on a fucking date the other day, and I'm like, bitch, like they don't have vanilla syrup. She's like, no, I know they do.
No, yeah.
She's telling me she doesn't have it. Like, you know, like I'm telling you, I'm like, do you have vanilla syrup? She's like, no. She's like, no, she has it. She doesn't want to give it to us because like whatever. I'm just like,
talking about
why does she want to hold vanilla syrup? Like, why do you want to fight?
Yeah,
like,
everyone's beefing over shit.
Everyone's beefing over little shit. Dude, I came down from my hotel room, right? Like, I saw this guy, right? As soon as like I'm going into the hotel like bar area. Yeah. He's like, look, he just looks up. He just happens to look at me, right? Just happens to look at me. Now, did I observe I'm the only black person in the hotel at the lounge?
Yeah, but did you assume he had some nefarious racial thought about you? Probably not. He just looked at you.
He just looked at me. I was like,
oh, another guy.
Yeah, but he's like shaking his head. I was like, and for a second, I'm like, motherfucker, are you shaking your head? What the fuck are you shaking your head for?
Yeah, he's probably looking at a text from his wife. This dumb bitch. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, like, we have to take like a little step back and not be too, impulsive.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Everyone thinks that the other person or someone who's talking to them has nefarious intent, and sometimes they're just not even thinking that. You know what I'm saying? Like, like they ascribe racism, as an example, they'll ascribe racism to something that could be easily ascribed to some guy just being an asshole. We were talking about that last night. Oh, he's racist. No, he's just a fucking jerk. Like sometimes it's a more simple explanation, but everyone heightens it to the next level because they want to like argue about it. It's like fucking chill out, man.
Yeah, that word. The R word is
Shout out Black History Month, Chase.
Yeah, shout out, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thanks to Hideout Studio for having me as well. The word racism, the word itself being called a racist, is I think it's crazy because it's like I think people a lot are getting the word racism mixed up with like prejudice, being prejudiced, and just like convoluting a lot of things and experiences. But I don't know. I mean, I'm actually tired of like like when people tell me like now I go on podcasts, a lot of people want to talk about it, and I'm just like
it's too much.
And I'm just like I don't want to be the black dude to teach you about history.
Yeah,
it's not my job to teach you about like fucking shit. If you're a white person and you want to like learn or like understand what's going on about like racism, you need to go fucking like.
You're not the one.
Nigga, no, you can tell by the last 30 minutes on this podcast. I'm probably like the best one to articulate.
I don't know shit, so go to somebody else.
Go to someone else that like is a little bit, but to really break down the complexities of it or whatever. But I'm just like, but I do see what I do see for me. Let me be honest. For me, what I do see when it comes to like the whatever the friction of America right now with the whole racism thing is that what I don't like is part of it. What I don't like is people not like listening to people, right? Yep. And also what I don't like on a bigger scale is a group of people being very dismissing a group of people's lived experiences because they want to make it easier for themselves to feel less guilty about racism. And the thing is that that's not right either. Yeah. I would rather prefer someone, if you really don't know, just say, man, I don't know. Yeah. And then, go from there. But if you're just trying to fight and prove a point because you're not racist. Yeah. Right? Like
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
So racism doesn't exist.
So say racism doesn't exist.
Not true. That's not true either.
That's not true either.
Yeah.
And that's even worse.
Yeah.
Because that's like what's called, it's like a microaggression to the actual cause.
Well, you're just denying a fact. I mean, like, because I'm not racist, there is no racism. Like, that's the stupidest sample set I've ever heard in my life.
It's ridiculous. You know, it's ridiculous.
But then but another thing that troubles me is the lack of admission of the progress that we have made. Everyone's like, this is, racism at an all-time high, bigotry is at an all-time high. I'm like, this is the best time anyone has ever lived on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't want to go back 100 years because life was worse then. Yeah. There was more racism then. There was more horrible things in the world then. Yeah, we haven't solved racism in this country, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was 60 years ago. Yeah. It's a hell of a lot better than it was 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like we're making progress. It's not perfection. It's progress. And progress, like Martin Luther King said, progress is slow, but it bends towards the righteous. Like, I mean, it goes to the right direction. Like, so to say that this is the worst time ever, it's like you're fucking retarded. Well, it's not.
I want to say that. Also, what you're doing is when you say that as well. If you're saying like nothing has been done. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that haven't been done.
Yeah,
but
it's better than it was.
But it's also what you're doing is by saying that you're kind of like removing what people of the civil rights movement.
Oh, all the hard work they put in, all the hoses and dogs that got sicked on them. You're just dismissing that.
You're dismissing like people who lost their lives.
Yeah.
To a cause.
Bigger than themselves.
Yeah. Other people that also helped that cause.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like purely black people that helped to get the civil rights. I mean, we were the catalyst behind it, but there was also, we weren't, this is what I'm trying to say, like, but we weren't like regulating the laws. We weren't creating the laws of segregation. Nigga, black people didn't create segregation.
Of course not, yeah.
So I'm saying,
but they helped undo it.
We're a product of the segregation. So, but so you're removing like people who actually really did the fucking work, man.
Yeah, I mean, like
you're erasing actual history.
Yeah,
like
you're ignoring some of the most significant gains we've made in the 20th century.
Right.
As a civilization. Let alone just American culture. Like civilized society has gotten better over the last 100 years. And to say that it's the worst time it's ever been, and women have never been more held down, and minorities have never been held down. It's like, are you insane?
Yeah, we have to.
You know what I'm saying? Like 100 years ago, women couldn't vote. We've made some progress. Like, grow up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't dismiss the hard work of all those people that gave their lives, like you said, to get us this far. But we're not perfect, but we're better than we were.
Well, yeah, women didn't have the right to vote about 100 years ago, but we gave, they allowed women to vote, right? Yeah. But then in 2024, 2023, you're telling a group of women, right, well, you got to you got to keep the baby.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's one thing we went backwards on.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah. Like we take, it's like we still do fuck up shit.
Oh yeah.
And the people and the people who make up these like you have to look at like the types of people who are making these like decisions, bro.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And the type of decisions that are making these decisions, let me tell you something, they don't look like me.
No. Well, they
don't look like me, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some of them look like me, and I don't like their decisions.
Most of them look like you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they don't have your heart.
Of course not. Yeah,
they don't have your heart.
Yeah,
they look like you.
Yeah,
but they don't have your heart.
Well, it's also nonsensical. It's like even in cases of rape or incest, I'm like, you guys are fucking missing the mark.
Crazy.
Son. It's craziness.
Crazy.
So if your daughter gets raped by an MS-13 gang member, you're gonna keep it? Fucking hell, you will. Yeah, like, liar.
And my question to them is for what?
Yeah.
For God?
Yeah. Well, yeah, God. It's if I don't believe in God, why do I have to follow God? Your rule. Like I have a different. My religion allows abortion. Yeah, that's in direct conflict with your religion. I think. What? You know what I'm saying? Like.
Right. Well, it's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. But I've spent a lot of my life like. Listen, I'm an African. I was born in Africa. Yeah. Right. I came.
And they don't play out there. So
we don't. Like.
I mean, they're still stoning gay people, and you know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, it's crazy out there.
Yeah, but there's all the beautiful places of Africa.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so everywhere has bad things, and everyone has great things. But yeah, I came here. I was an immigrant. I came here, boom. But Africa, everyone knows the story, for the most part. But I came to pretty much an all like white area. I mean, Boston's pretty predominantly like we have diverse.
And you made it. You seem to have a good relationship with white folks. You know what I'm saying?
I have a good relationship with good people who have good hearts.
Yeah.
Regardless of color.
Yeah.
It's more for me now as I'm starting to like learn. I'm learning a lot too, man. Yeah. I'm not like as you know, I'm not a guru.
Yeah, we've solved that a half an hour ago.
I'm not a guru, but I'm also learning too as like someone who wasn't let's say my ancestry doesn't date back to America.
Yeah.
My ancestry is not like cemented in the Black African American.
Yeah, yeah, you're actually African.
I'm actually from there. Like I'm actually where.
Yeah, you didn't come from from former slaves because you were born in Africa. Of course you were.
And there were slaves. I don't know.
There were slaves over there, but American slaves. You're talking. Yeah.
There's American slaves, and but there were slaves also in Africa. Through like colonization.
Oh yeah.
But where I'm from, like East Africa, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
It's very different. The culture is very interesting.
Yeah.
So part of the problem too, and I learned this too from part of the problem too, that's how bad racism has got, where it even bled into the communities that it like detrimented, right?
Yeah.
So as an African coming to America, I'm going to take my parents because I was very young.
Yeah.
Right? I learned like coming here, but my parents, they didn't know because
about American slavery. Why would they? They don't have American history.
They didn't get taught.
Yeah. They didn't get taught American history in Eritrea. They didn't
teach it.
Yeah.
Like they did not know. Like they didn't know. I mean, obviously Martin Luther King, this paper is going on.
Yeah.
But they didn't lived it.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't know like Abraham Lincoln. Like they
none of that shit. Yeah.
They know that shit. So part of the problem is like Africans also should because they weren't taught about the lived experiences of the Black American here. They came also with like not knowing, but they were lumped in by default.
Yeah, white people think, he's black just like the other black guys. Like, no, that's two different. Yeah. Ask a Nigerian how they feel about America, because Nigerians are some of the most successful African American communities in the country. Like, they work hard. They crush it.
Let me tell you something.
They're some of the highest earning people in the country.
You know who was the highest level graduates last year by Harvard Business School?
Who's that?
Nigerians.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. That's because they're like, what? They're like, you guys, and for a white American, like, he's just like the other black guy who was here for his family was here for generations as slaves. Like, nope, two different things. That kid's an immigrant. He doesn't know anything about U.S. American slavery. He doesn't, he might look like that guy's skin color, but they have nothing in common other than their skin color. I'm saying, like, to lump them together because of skin color is kind of racist. Like it's very big. It's very ignorant, I would say. Not racist, but ignorant to think that, because he's black and he's black, that's the same. It's like, no, that's not. Right. Two different lives. Like I said, their lived experience are completely devoid from the other.
Well, it's just definitely different, but they get lumped into one pot, whatever. It's kind of like saying, well, you have, let's say it's like successful like black people, right? Very wealthy black people. A lot of like, people would think like, because a successful black person's made it, they never had or lived it like through a racism experience. Yeah. And it's like, just because economically you're on the same status as someone who's white doesn't mean that black person still says experience. Yeah. Like that's the difference between like white people and black people in terms of like in that status.
Yeah.
Like,
but there's another one too. Right? The flip side of that, like, you know how white people are. It's like there's a lot of different white folks. I mean, poor white people have in West Virginia have nothing to do with wealthy aristocrats up in fucking Nantucket. Like so to say that you're white, you had it good. It's like, well, no, you don't know that either, right? You can't tell that just by looking at a guy's face or gal's face.
Yeah, but I do, but there's
it cuts both ways.
But in totality, generally, like as a whole, white people have generally a cognitive dissonance to racism. As a whole, like certain, like
you think so?
I know so because I lived it. Because
even in Boston, I mean, there's a lot of
not Boston.
No, Boston who are all about it.
Not
like they're like
to racism. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like so. Example, like I'm not talking about like people who like were part of like who I can say right now people who lived in like diverse cities.
Yeah,
like you.
Yeah,
for example, right? Like New York City, right? It's hard to be a racist in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, you just grew up around all these people. It's just other people, just people. You know what I'm saying? Right. What people always look like. People always look, different colors to me. It wasn't. I wasn't shocked.
I'm talking about the person who's never actually had someone like of like a different.
Yeah, it's never been in a black community. Never left their neighborhood.
That's what I'm saying.
They grew up in a cul-de-sac and they stayed there. Yeah,
like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I mean, you're like, okay, you're biracial, right? Two cultures, right? People would not know that unless they probably asked, right?
Yeah.
Generally, they'd be like,
they just assume.
They just assume, right? But because you lived in New York, you have whatever. I'm talking about the guy that's like a Randy who lives in like Oshkosh, Bagosh, in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Who doesn't like have
who never left town.
Yeah. Who doesn't have like diverse friends. Who just
Yeah, and he has all these assumptions about Black America or Black people. And that he doesn't know anything about Nigerians and the difference that is from he doesn't know the difference between a poor white Albanian in Queens and himself. He's just whites. I see what you're saying. You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know, and it's like, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like we're talking when we're saying like I'm not speaking for the Black community. I'll never speak for the Black community, but I am part of it.
Yeah,
I hope.
They didn't throw you out.
Hopefully after this podcast.
Yeah, right.
I'll send in my dues in a second.
Yeah, he's gonna send in my dues. Wouldn't that be great? If you had to like chip in to like to like your community pot, like your racial pot, it's like oh, I gotta I gotta put my $10 a month fee to be white. You buy like you get like a little card.
They should do a membership.
You give members. It'd be great if you like. Oh, it's $20 if you're black and want to be in the white community. It's $20 instead of 10. They just raise the fee.
They should have like a membership card.
Yeah, membership card.
Yeah,
you go to the gym
and you got the platinum, like the black card. I mean, no pun intended.
Yeah, well, to be a white card, right?
That's up for debate.
White card.
Yeah, but it's up for debate. See, we debated. See,
I know, right? We're talking about it. All right, dude. Let's get into some news before we shoot out of here.
Yeah.
The best segment. You'll love this, dude.
I think the producer liked that one. He was giggling a little bit.
Oh, we got him on that one?
Yeah,
I like that. Listen to this.
I think he's watching like Toy Story or fucking over there.
I hope not. He's watching porn.
Love it.
Listen to this, bro. A woman got arrested after texting a guy 159,000 times after their first date. 159,000 times. Jacqueline Adis, 31, was arrested in Arizona for stalking after sending a man she met online 159,000 texts following their one date in 2017. The Paradise Valley Police reported 4 instances of Addis going to the man's home or workplace between 2017 and 2018. In April, the man who was out of the country discovered her in his home via surveillance video. She was taking a bath. It says that she continued sending threatening texts and expressions of violence. She was arrested on May 8th and is facing felony stalking charges. 159,000 unanswered texts.
There should be. I have so many questions, but go ahead. What do you think? What's going on? What do you what?
I mean,
I don't know where to begin on this one.
That's what I'm saying. 159,000, bro. I mean, if you do, let me do the quick math on that.
How does the phone allow you to send 150,000 text messages? They
Bro,
should have like a fucking block.
She was sending 435 a day.
Oh, she's bugging.
Bro, you know how many that's 18 an hour. Does she not have a job? Does she not wipe her ass or take a shower? Like that is so many text messages. Like even if I just hit like just text you a smiley face over and over and over again,
right.
That would take fucking 2 years to text 159,000 times. Like it's so much.
I don't even blame her though. You know who I blame? I blame the fucking chump that's like keeps looking at it and keeps receiving it.
Oh yeah, I would have changed my phone number. Yeah, I would have changed the phone number.
Let me ask you a question. What's your text amount that you're like enough's enough?
2. Son. If I don't answer you back twice, we ain't it's over.
2.
I don't like if I'm texting a girl and she doesn't respond after 2, I'm not texting her back. And if a woman like texts me fucking 3 unanswered times, I'm blocking her.
Short leash.
Hell yeah, bro. I just told you earlier you got to text me before you call me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You think I'm gonna play with this shit?
So that's one text.
Yeah, one text.
So you got one. So you really got
159,000 texts.
Yeah. So you really got one text.
You're like a one text. I got a real short temper for that bullshit.
I know you don't play around with too much talking. Too much like it's like I mean that's a lot of text messages.
I wish a woman liked me that much though. You know what I'm saying?
I've been around you, man. A lot of women have liked you.
Not 159,000 unanswered texts.
Not that much. Actually, I think the women who like you don't really like you.
No, yeah, 159,000. I don't think I've sent 159,000 texts in my entire life.
There's been a couple girls that'll be like, I like Randy, but I don't like him. But I like him.
Yeah, he's a real fucking asshole, but I like the guy. I wouldn't date him, but he's fun to be around. Listen to this. Yeah. I think this is something you might have done in your life. Let me know. A study reveals that 20% of people admit to snacking while bathing or sitting on the toilet.
That's mine.
I'm saying, have you ever done that? You ever eaten while like eating something while you're taking a shower or taking a shit?
I just did it this morning before I started the podcast. I got Cracker Jack fucking things I stole from my hotel room. I'm about to give it to the producer. It's good. It's like a spicy caramel one. I got a mixed bag. I was in my slippers, in my robe, right? I didn't even take the robe off. I should have took the robe off when I was taking a shit. But for some reason.
You see? Oh, you just put it on the back of the toilet?
Yeah, I just put it on the back of the toilet, dude. Like, so.
He's eating Cracker Jacks, taking a shit.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I take the most longest shits, dude. I'll be in the bathroom for like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's my throne, so I do my thinking back there.
I do a lot of thinking. I'm on YouTube,
Yeah, son.
I'm like, just.
Answering DMs and shit.
I'm working on my posture. Like when you're sitting in the toilet, that's a great way to like work on your posture.
Yeah.
A lot of people hunch over when they're taking a shit. You need to
sit straight.
You got to straighten up.
Sit and shit straight. Just go like, oh, yeah, I got you.
Do not posture.
Yeah, you want to bend over.
Don't bend over when you're shitting.
Yeah.
That's why the Asians are like really leading
the
world.
squat pot. Yeah,
They're squat. Yeah.
dude. I've never eaten while taking a shit, but I've definitely had a beer while taking a shower. Does that count? I don't know if that counts.
Oh,
Ryan, have you eaten a beer? You've had a shower beer, right?
Yeah,
Talking to the producer.
I've surely had a shower beer.
But have you ever eaten while taking a shit?
Fuck no.
Randy, have you seen the studio? This guy has his life together.
Yeah. This is legit. Yeah, he's not the type of shitting on the toilet.
He's got his things together, man.
All right, we'll do two more because I got one quick one that I really wanted to get to about Shaq first.
Yeah.
During an appearance on the Big Podcast with Shaq expressed his view that men should refrain from sharing their emotions with women. Quote, he said, "Open up to women, never. Because you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because once you do, whenever something goes down, they're going to throw it back in your face. That's why." Okay. Now, do you agree with Shaq that you should never open up to a woman emotionally because she's going to use it against you in the future?
That's wow. This is gonna be a good one. I will say this: there is some validity to what
Yeah.
Shaq is saying.
Yeah.
There is some validity to what Shaq's saying. Men as a whole, I think, kind of believe in this a little bit. But then the other side to me, it's like, well, there is validity to it.
But you have to open up in a relationship. I mean, that's
but
part of being in a relationship.
You have to open up at some point.
That's the risk you run.
That's the risk you run.
Yeah.
You know, I think I told you before this. It's like, you know, no one owns anybody. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if you're in a relationship, even if you get married or about to get married.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
that don't mean shit.
I firmly really believe, like, you know, people have like a little like warped perception of what loving someone actually really entails.
I agree with that.
And a lot of people like would marry someone or want to be with someone based on like certain other needs. Everyone has different needs, right?
Yeah.
But you don't own anybody. Even though you get married to someone and you have it on paper, you don't own them. They're not property.
You should have to earn their respect and trust and love every day, like you did before that marriage, before the marriage was finalized. You know?
Yeah. And I also feel like more importantly, you also, as much as you love them to want to be with you and you want to like protect them, you also have to give them also the love. You also have to give them the freedom to also, if they don't want to be with you, you gotta let them go as well.
Yes.
And I think that's that's the hard part for people. People like want to like hold on to people, and they want to like, you know, they're like, no, it's mine. We've been through so much together. I know women like they're like, we've been through too much together. We're not gonna break up. It's like, no, but we should break up because you literally like set my house on fire.
Yeah,
like,
it's called throwing good money after bad. It's like, oh, we've been together for so long, so we should just stay together. It's like, well, if you felt like you've wasted 10 years with the person, why waste another 10? You know what I'm saying? At some point, you know.
Yeah, but you gotta.
But you do have to open up.
You have to open up
if you're going to be in a relationship.
If you have an issue with opening up, and a lot of men do because we're men.
Yeah.
And it comes from a lot of things. Women are just more, you know, naturally better at that. You know, I think that's just a space that at some point a man's just gonna have to come and work through. He's gonna have to come to that realization.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to open up at some point because it hinders you more.
Yeah,
you know.
We're also taking advice from Shaq, who was famously in a terrible divorce,
and also he doesn't have a woman. So
you know what I'm saying, like motherfucker. Yeah, but Shaq is a dope cat though. He's a very generous guy. So I fuck with Shaq heavy.
Shaq is he's more of he's more of like on the conservative side than like most people would think.
Let's think. Also, it doesn't matter. He's still a nice guy. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
I'm saying? Like that's my point.
Guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he gives.
Yeah, very generous guy.
Oh, he gives. He helps out a lot. I want to. You got to. I think
try to get Shaq on the interview. I would love to get Shaq. Yeah. He wouldn't fit in the studio though.
No.
I'd have to have a drone film him. It's far enough away.
He's so big.
He's massive.
I met him one time.
Huge.
He's
guy.
the biggest man I've ever met. I mean, I've seen Yao Ming. Yao Ming's pretty big too.
Yeah. But Shaq is just so like he's so thick. Yeah, he's fucking he's everywhere in the room all at once somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I'm saying?
Really, he really is.
Yeah. Listen to this. This is the last one. Peter Thiel, billionaire Peter Thiel, is funding the Enhanced Games, a rival to the Olympics that would allow athletes to use performance-enhancing drugs. Billionaire Peter Thiel and other venture capitalists are funding the Enhanced Games, dubbed the Olympics on Steroids, a revamped Olympic-style tournament that embraces future advancements in medical science. So, I guess the inaugural edition is expected to kick off in 2025. So they're going to have the Olympics with steroids, and I'll start on this one. I was like, I already thought the Olympics had steroids. All those guys are juicing, aren't they? I mean, there's so many doping scandals in the Olympics. The Olympics already exist. I'm pretty sure that someone won't break an Olympic record in this because the Olympics are already people in the Olympics are already using steroids. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know if you agree or disagree.
So the question exactly is what?
Is do you think it's a good idea to have a sports competition where steroid and performance-enhancing drug use is explicitly encouraged?
I think they should have a separate category for it.
Yeah, they have a whole separate game system.
Yeah. If there's a separate category for it where you're allowed to have like people like, you know, do that and there's no like, you know, there's checks and balances for that, Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely unfair if you are using it and you're performing with other people who don't.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what is steroids doing? It's giving you an edge.
Yeah, it's unfair.
It's
You want a
unfair.
fair play. If everyone's on steroids or no one's on steroids, that's a fair playing field.
This is why I don't understand why people are fucking on board with like women, like fight men fighting women. Like
that's where I land on this. It's just not fair. I don't care about your sexuality or gender.
This is how stupid
it's
we've
just
come.
not fair. Yeah.
We've come to this stupidity. Why am I talking about this?
Yeah.
We're having dialogues on podcasts, on shows, and fucking mainstream shit about people who are transitioning to another gender, but they want to fight the gender that you're. Are you fucking out your mind?
Well, that's where I came down. I was like, look, I take the sexuality out of it, and I take the gender issue out of it. If one person in a cage match is on steroids and the other isn't, that's unfair. So if one of them is a trans woman who used to be a man, she was on testosterone, which is a steroid, for 20 years or so.
Yeah.
So she has an unfair advantage. It's unfair. Like, I don't care about your gender. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
And sports are about fairness, right?
You
have to have a fair playing field to pick a victor, right? And if one of them has performance and the other doesn't, it's not fair.
It's not fair.
I don't care about your gender. You were on steroids for 20 years. That's not fair. Natural steroids or not, it's not fair.
It's not fair.
Yeah, that's where I come down on it. And
I just don't understand why people can't come to that basic.
It's fucking
the denominator of it all.
I mean, think about that in kindergarten when you pick up hoops. You see each person picks the next. Each captain picks a team, and you try and pick the best players, so you end up with a fair adjustment of one team doesn't get all the best players, and the other can be scrubs.
Yeah, like
you pick one by one, so you each get a pretty even team, so you have a fair game.
I'll pick the tall guy, you'll pick the tall guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll pick a smaller.
Yeah, so we have an even team to play and see who could actually win. This is like one team gets all the best players, the other team gets fucking people in wheelchairs. Like that's not a game. That's a slaughter. Like you would never play that. Like
that's not how sports is made.
Yeah,
like it's not.
It's
how
crazy.
It's remarkable to me. Not even remarkable.
I'm dumbfounded by it. Like what? Like this is an argument?
This is why I have to defer to you on this. When I met you years ago and you said this for the first time, you're like, Chase. I said, what, Randy? You're like, people are fucking stupid.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, what do you? And now I understand what.
Never underestimate how dumb people can be. Never underestimate how stupid people can be.
It's remarkable that we still make mistakes that we haven't learned from. Especially mistakes we've continued to do that we've been doing hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, and we still can't.
Yeah, this is one we had solved that we unsolved somehow.
I never thought in my, I never thought, bro.
It's crazy.
Literally, I've never thought. I don't think. I never thought that we would come to a point where we'd actually have to have a debate with human beings.
Yeah.
About a subject that's so
basic.
And I fight.
Yeah.
You do
jiu-jitsu and
I do mixed martial arts. Yeah. I'm in these gyms, dog.
Yeah.
I know what this pressure feels like.
No. Well, because someone can get really hurt too. It's not just
what?
It's not like swimming. You get killed. Yeah, it's dangerous. Especially in combat sports, it's dangerous.
And also, it's in the commissions, the people who run commissions, the commissions who are allowing people to do this, they all need to go to jail.
Oh, it's crazy.
They need to go to jail.
I'll tell you what, though.
Commission allowing men to fight.
I'll tell you what,
women,
though. I'll tell you what, though. As a guy who used to gamble a lot.
Give me a ticket to the show.
As a guy who used to gamble a lot, I would be betting on these trans women if they enter women's leagues and tournaments. Son, it's a great way to make money. You know what I'm saying? I'll bet the house on that Leah Thompson winning a swim meet. As a degenerate gambler, I would totally be pro women, pro trans women competing against regular women.
I think most people who are, regardless of Republican or Democrat, let's just say even people who are in the middle, it's you could come. I think if you're debating to a human being that a woman physically can dominate a man in an octagon, I'm sorry, a man who's transitioning into a woman, but then he wants to.
She doesn't have a physical advantage. You say she doesn't. That's crazy.
Are you saying to me she doesn't have a physical?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
like I said, she was on steroids for 20 years.
Yeah.
So if she was on steroids for 20 years and the other competitor wasn't, she's definitely at an advantage.
Yeah.
And when you're a man, you have natural testosterone, which is a steroid. Yeah. So she was technically on steroids for 20 years. It's not fair. It's simple as that.
That's like
as simple as that. We don't have to get into her genitals. She had taken testosterone for 20 years. The other competitor wasn't. That's not fair. She's disqualified. That's it. I don't even know what her genitals look like.
That's like someone telling me, hey, if you just go to this, go to this area where white people live, right, and train for 10 years, eventually your skin color is going to be white.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what? Nigga?
Yeah, they're not gonna change.
When I don't say it, like, I don't get it. Like just because I dress like them, just because I wear Patagonia vests and fucking like like I'm that like that's it's like doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Like,
I can act as white as I want. I'm still gonna be black
I'm
in the
still
morning.
gonna be black. Actively black, by the way.
Actively black. Name of this episode, brother. I love having you on. Thanks for doing it. It's always, man. Nice to have you back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, next time you're in LA, we'll definitely get you in the podcast in LA, and we'll have a guest. We'll do it old school. Me, you, and a guest.
Yeah, this is fun, man.
Yeah, let people know where they can find you at.
Yeah, you can always find me, man. You know, at Chase Abel.
Thirst
Instagram.
Trap Central at Chase Abel.
Thirst Trap. You know, Coco Panda, aka Coco Panda. You know? I got the merch line coming soon.
That's right.
Chase Abel on Instagram, www.chaseable.com on my website. You know, I'm becoming a city near you. I'm looking forward to getting back on stage. So I'm coming at you.
Hell yeah, buddy. All right, guys. You know where to find me at Randy Valero. The podcast at Ready Set Blow. Rate, review, subscribe. Give it a like on YouTube. Turn your notifications on. You know the deal. Fucking help me out, man.
Help this guy
Get
out.
me out of this fucking day job. All right. I'm tired of trying to save companies from themselves. Yeah. I need to just tell dick jokes on the internet to you fine folks.
Save Randy from talking to 43-year-old men that dress up in tracksuits.
All right, guys. We love you. Check it next week. Peace.